Hi, this is Tracy from Weekcraft at Home, and today I am doing May's Christmas prep. And I thought it'd be nice to show you how to do a Christmas village where you can put fairy lights inside. So, what I actually done, I went on my scan and cut, and there is loads of houses on there that you can actually use for a village. Now, I don't know if it's just the SDX or if the CM series has got some houses as well. I'm not really sure there. But I'll show you how easy it is to use your shapes and make up a house by yourself anyway. So, first of all, I need to go File, Import from my cutting machine, and FCM file. Because what I've done, I put all the houses onto one mat and then saved it to canvas. And now they're going to bring them all out. So as you can see, there's a lot of choice there. I don't want this one because I don't think it fits in with everything else. Now the idea is to have a line of houses. But there's a few things we have to do first. I'm not going to show you every house. I'll show you an easy one and then a difficult one. So first of all, it's this one. When I put them on the mat, I put them on the mat grouped. When you go to save it, it says it cannot be ungrouped, but in Canvas Workspace it can. So we're going to ungroup it, and then we're going to send this one to the back. Arrange, send to the back. So what I need to do is grab the square of the house and all the windows and subtract down here on your process overlap. And now that's one shape, so I haven't got to worry about remembering all the windows. That's just one solid shape now. Now for the roof, before I do anything else, I want to duplicate. And I'm going to move that over there because that's an extra piece. And then you're going to grab both of them and weld so that it's one shape. But we've still got the roof that we can stick on top and get a 3D effect afterwards. So we're going to keep that. If we didn't weld this, we wouldn't have anywhere to stick the roof to. So that one is now ready. But for every single one, what we're also going to do is duplicate both and then flip them so that there's the other side. You're going to do the same with this that you've done with this. Just the door, you're going to move up a little bit. I'll show you. Layer, ungroup. The door is right on the cut line. So I think it'll look better if we move it up just a little bit. Just so it's clear of the main outline of the house. So I've done that with my arrows. There, see, so you've got a little gap. But you're going to do the same thing as we just done with that. So send the shape to the back and then grab all of these and subtract. Duplicate the roof and then weld it all together. Now these ones are a little bit harder because there's more bits to it. So they also have an extra backing, which you're going to need for how we're doing this. So it's a good idea to keep that. I think I'll show this one because it's hard to see what it is while it's still all together. I'm just going to bring it down here and I'm going to close in a little bit so that I can show you a bit clearer. So as you can see, there's all little bits, but what it's meant to do is show the brown like timbered wood. So it's meant to be like the timbered wood effect. So we need to subtract all these shapes. But first of all, can you see I'm going to move one. I'm not sure which one. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so this one we want to send to the back. I'm going to undo so it go back in place. And we want to send that to the back. So arrange, send to the back. Then we want the shape behind it, and we need to keep that, because what we're going to do now is take all this and subtract, and that way we've only got one shape there. So we can stick it onto this one, and you do the colour of the actual stone of the house on this one, and this one you do in a timber effect, so a dark brown, so that you can see. Let me do it in colour. So we want a nice dark brown. Let's do this one in, I'll tell you what, we'll do it in a creamy colour. And if we stick it behind, then you can see it looks like the timbers, but you'll have the cream one behind. The only thing we've got to think about is that these windows, if you want to be able to see through them, and the door, if you do, you need to chop it off there. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. We're going to grab a rectangle and come back down. See, we only need to take that much off. So do both and subtract. Why is it saying operation not allowed? So that's a nodes problem. There. You see there's two nodes there. Let me try and get in close. Oh, it's open. It's an open line. Can you see there? It's saying there that it's an open line, so all you've got to do is close the outline. And then this one we don't need anymore. So if you delete that, let's go out a little bit. I do have a video on nodes and how to deal with them, understanding them. If anybody wants to see them, I'll put the details up here and in the details at the end. So let's try it again now. Subtract, and then we'll put the house back on. Bring to the front. And now we've got space, and what we'll do there when we're over there is vellum. We'll put vellum over the bits where the windows are. So that's, let's just display, zoom to mat size, go back. So that's how we're going to do that one. So that's really just two pieces cut out, and that's that one done. And you're going to do the same thing here. So like this one, you can see that it's those bits. The triangle there is a window, that's a window, that's a window, and all these little squares are windows. The rest are extra bits that have to be stuck on, so they're the bits you want to take off. So, and the same here, you can see where the windows are. So it's 1, 2, 3 that needs to come off, and you want to keep the backing plates. Actually, do you know what, for this one I would keep the backing plates and use that for these two. Use the backing plate as the vellum for the windows. Vellum, acetate, whatever you want to use. I like vellum when I'm doing like a village or anything like that. So that's how you do all the houses. Now I'm just going to put them all together, because the one thing that was missing was a church. I'm just going to group it, and then I am going to hide it from the eye. So if you click the eye, it disappears, it's hidden. This is a church I'd done out the shapes earlier. I just wanted to make sure that I could do something that was good enough as a church. So I used only the shapes in here. I just want to go through it with you quickly, and then you can do the same thing with the houses. You look at the shapes and you can do certain things. So I used this one. I used a rectangle, triangle, a circle for that window. Churches always seem to have a circle window, don't they? Okay, let's start there and then I'll come back for the other shapes. So we've got this shape first. And what we're going to do is just flip it vertically. And what that is the shape there. And then we need, so I need a square each side. And the way I measured it was to put the center points so they're on the end line. And then duplicate and put one on the other side. If you grab them all, you can align them to the bottom line so they're all along the same line at the bottom, and then weld, and that gives you the main shape of the church. Let me put it down size so you can see it a bit better, like that. See, there's the main part of the church there. And then church has a steeple, so we'll bring that in and put the triangle on top. Now the best way to figure this out, the width is 1/13. So for the triangle we want the width the same. And then we are going to centralize all of it and weld. So now you can see the shape of the church starting to come together. We'll have a circle window. If we duplicate that so that we can make a frame for the window. And again, we want to centralize it down the middle so that it's in the right place. Now you could subtract that now. When that happens, it usually means the bigger piece is at the front, so you need to send it to the back. And then do it again. Okay, so you can see now I've got the circle. Let's do the arches. So for the arches you need another rectangle and a half circle. I think that's about right. So you want to look at the width is 394, and that should be the width of the semicircle because they're all that size to start with. There you go, 394. So again, a line down the middle, make sure they're going to fit right, and weld. Now again, you want frames for all of these, but let's get the right size first. So church door, we'll do the frames afterwards. Now I'm going to layer and duplicate to do the window. The windows I want obviously smaller, but I want them a bit thinner as well. Let's see, there we go. Do another two, and then I'm holding shift and holding all of them and make sure that they are all on the same level. I want one more to go above the door. Maybe I'll do that one a bit smaller, and we're going to do the church and that little window, and again align it down the center, and there is the main outline of your church. And then after that I've just done some strips from a rectangle, another rectangle, and they're going to be for the stairs and for this. Now for the stairs you just go up 1/4 inches to make it look like they're coming down like that, and then centralise them through the middle. For this, that's better. And all you're going to do is duplicate that and flip it horizontally, and then you're going to just keep coming down until they meet at the top. There we go, so they meet at the top. So that's the sort of arch of the church, like a roof. So we need to hold shift, hold on to these two and weld, and there's your arch. If you go a little bit out, see there, I've gone a little bit out. I'm going to close in really close now so you can see it. You see? Click again and just get rid of the, there we go, and now it's straight. So display, zoom to mat size. I've added a short, so again it's using the rectangle and squashing it down, and added a short little rim, and these are going to be separate. The windows you're going to subtract, but this and this and the star, maybe the steps too, yeah, the steps, it all needs to be separate. And then all you're going to do is do your frames. So before we subtract all the windows, okay, I'll show you with the arch doors. You go to offset, outward 04, and then do another offset at 08. And we're going to put them two together, align them. The big one is on the top, so we need to arrange and send it to the back. Remember, the bigger shape has to be at the back. And then subtract. That's the frame. So that's the frame for the doorway, and you're going to do the same thing for all the windows. Okay, so the next thing will be about sticking them all together. So I am just going to move this over. So now we're going to bring the houses back up. So we need to be able to stick them together, and this is where you need to think about tabs. If you're sticking them together using tabs, whether you've got enough room on the side of the house before the windows. So you need to think about things like that, and what order you're going to put them in, and the size of them. So I want mine to be about 6 inches each. Now this one and this one are obviously tall houses, so they need to be taller than anything else. So that's the one I'm going to pick to be 6 inches. It's quite tall, but oh, there we go. And then you want to size these ones so that they fit okay alongside them. Now that one you could stick together and put a score line in, and then maybe do this one, which has also got to be 6 inches. So it really does depend on the size you want to do. So this one, I would add the tab on this house because there's more room here than on this bit. And for tabs, I always use this shape, and all you're going to do is attach it to the side. So let's do, don't need it too big. So you attach it to the back part, not the front part, so that it can stick to that. and then you do the same there. And with each house, you make sure it can attach to another house. So you've got to decide the size, and then you've got to decide what order you want them to be in. So I want big, small, like that, and the church on the end, maybe a bit bigger, because the church would be bigger. So that's how I'm going to do it, and I will see you over at the craft table where we will put it all together. The other thing is, I nearly forgot, I do apologise. You're going to need 2 squares. Judging by the size, it's going to go on the end, 2 ends. So size it to the size of your house you're doing, and you're going to put one of these on each end. So it's got a tab on each end. And then each house, you'll remember I said you have to flip. So flip the houses, and then we can put it all together. Okay, I think I've done everything, and I will see you over at the craft table.
Okay, so I've cut all my houses out, stuck all the bits on, and put the vellum at the back. I just cut out squares of vellum instead of the whole house, and I've done it all for everyone. I've put them back to back to make sure that I have put the stuff all on the right side. This one, it didn't matter because it's symmetrical anyway, but you know, you've got to think of the chimneys and things like that. So I've got all my houses. The only thing I didn't really consider was I done steps for the church, but I didn't consider about how I was going to stick the steps on, of course. So I've still got all the bits where I've cut out. So you can see this is where I've cut the wood out and the steps. I've still got a little bit of card left. So what I thought I'd do is use that just to stick the steps on. So I'm just going to trim it down to size and do a thicker strip that I can stick the steps on in layers. So I'll stick that to the back. The doorway for some reason come out bigger. I don't know what I've done there. I'll stick that to the back and then put the stairs on the front. And I'll do that for both. So and the other thing I forgot to do was add tags to all my houses. I cut them all out, put them all together, and then I was like, oh, I forgot the tags. But I'm pretty glad I did now. Because, you know, you might want to move it around and you're not sure exactly what you're doing. So I'm going to just cut up the leftover bits and stick them together on the inside. But anyway, first of all, the church. So I am just going to use a little bit of glue to stick behind. I don't want it bigger, so I'll have to cut it down afterwards, but that's okay. Hoping it will still be alright with the doorway. So we will trim it down. I mean, it doesn't really need to be as big. And what we'll do, so I've got 3 different size steps. And the smallest goes on top. So although that doesn't make sense, right now. The smallest goes on top, and I'm going to do that flat with glue. So the church with the steps ends up looking like that. It's a little bit taller, which is what we wanted anyway. So you do that with, I won't show you doing the other one as well. That's, I'll do that afterwards. So the next thing you've got to decide is how you want them all to be. Now I'm just going to take one of each. And we'll put the other ones away. So you need to lay them out and decide in what order they're gonna like be in. I want to go kind of big, small, big, small. You don't necessarily have to. So I think maybe like that. And then that one with the church on the end. That's my line. So you can decide if you want the houses to be bigger, you cut them bigger. If you want all in one line, you can do that. Or if you want more, less, whatever, this is where you decide what you want to do with it. So that's the kind of line I want. And all I'm going to do is get the strips left over from where I've cut and stick them all together. I'll show you doing it, but I'll speed it up so it's not so boring for you. But obviously I can use them 2 tags, but the rest of it I need to use some strips of card to put it all together. So I've got all the different colours, and what I'll do, like this one, I think the grey would look best, so I'll stick it together with the grey. And I only need a thin strip, because as you can see, you've got to remember, you don't want it being seen. Can you see that? Yeah. You don't want it being seen where the windows are. So you've got to keep the strips thin enough that you don't see. So I'll speed this up, like I said, so it's not too boring for you. So we've done the first half of our little village, like this, and then once the glue's dry you can start bending it the way you want it to go. And then the next thing to do is get your houses and match them like this, and then you're going to glue together the other side. And once you've got 2 sides, we're then going to put them together with a joining tab at the end here. So I'll do that off camera, I'll stick these together and then I'll show you the joining tabs. Okay, so as you can see, I've got both sides done now. And then all we're needing is however wide you want to put between the 2 sides of the village. Now I've measured mine against the battery pack for the lights that I'm using, so that I know they'll fit in there and it'll be hidden. So mine is 2.5 inches, but you do it to what space you want. You might not want it that wide. So all I'm going to do now, I've used the grey leftover card for the church side, and I've just scored. So I've done a 3.5 inch square and scored a 1/4 inch because there's not a lot of space with the church for the window. So each side we're going to attach the wall. Always making sure that they're level so that they're going to sit okay. So, white leftover card. So now you have like a valley between your buildings that match, and then you can decide if you want to turn them left and right and make them a ziggy-zaggy or straight on, or whatever you want to do. Put them in a square, maybe like a, not a square, sorry. So there's your village, the basic village. And then obviously what you're going to do is, I got these last year. And the thing about the way we've done it means you can hide the battery pack and you haven't got to worry about it being unsightly with the battery pack. And we'll just put them all along there. Now you can stick them or just put them like that. And then when they're on, they will shine through all of the vellum. Obviously you take your time laying them out, not like I'm rushing. So that would be your basic village. Like that, and you can do it in however you like to do it. And then all you've got to do is add decoration. Now I'm thinking maybe on the ends do a Christmas tree covering the walls. And maybe tiny little circle wreaths on a couple of the doors, lights hanging, you know, whatever you like to do. You can just add your own Christmas decorations, maybe a bit of snow if you want a snowy village on top of all the chimneys and the roofs and things like that. Yeah, go to town. You can do as little or as much as you like, and it's just a nice little thing to put. How have I done that? Nice little thing to put on your mantelpiece or in the middle of a table setting. Obviously, like I said, take your time and put the lights right, and in the dark that will look amazing. Let's see if I can get a little effect. If I turn that light out, there you go. So it'll look really lovely. Anyway, that's the May prep. Go to town on it and have fun. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.